Okay, Jenna Lee, did you want to kick us off here tonight?
Yes, for sure. I'll do that. So hi, everybody, and welcome to the Youth Innovation Masterclass Pitch It event. We are excited to have you all here, and the agenda for this evening will be pretty simple. We're just going to give you some context around how this came about, introduce some of our key supporters, and then we will actually dive right in. So this past summer, Flagstaff County, the town of Wainwright, EXO Executes, and the East Central Regional Innovation Network came together to create a youth initiative that would spark innovation and create possible new business opportunities for both of our regions. And over the course of the last 9 weeks, 5 entrepreneurs have spent hours researching, learning, and applying the new skills to our region. So those teams include, we'll do some more formal introductions later, but from Flagstaff County, there's myself as part of our economic development team. Jordan Pryor, do you just want to give a wave? As well as Christy Jackson, and then our economic development officer from the town of Wainwright, Carly Hebert. Do you want to give a wave? And everybody else will be introduced a little bit more formally later. So this was a pivot for our organization during COVID-19. Just to ensure we still maintained youth development throughout the pandemic, we typically send kids to camp, but had to find a virtual offering. And you are getting to witness, because of that, a first of its kind pilot program for both our sponsorship organizations and EXO Executes that combines merging consulting and coaching, the first innovation masterclass to include local businesses, and the first time using the exponential model with participants that have very limited experience with this method. And collectively, we are very, very pleased with the results. Next, we're just going to take a few words from Kara Johnson, the Technology Development Advisor with Alberta Innovates. Kara, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. So welcome, everybody. I think this is so exciting. So part of what we have been looking at through the East Central Alberta Regional Innovation Network is different areas of underrepresented entrepreneurs. And one of the areas that we highlighted was our youth. Many of them have such an entrepreneurial spirit, and this is a great opportunity to help them embrace it, give them the skills so that they can move forward and be successful and fail fast, right? And that's what it's all about. It's failing fast. And we call failing first attempt in learning and moving on to what's going to be really successful. So I represent the East Central Alberta region here tonight. And ironically, I was just chatting with my counterpart in Lethbridge, and she just was judging a pitch competition down there as well for the youth. So we're so excited to see the engagement. Thank you for having us. We're very pleased to be involved. Thanks to Carly and her team for just running a fantastic program. You guys have done a great job, and I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to offer. Have fun.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kara. And again, thank you guys for your sponsorship of this program. We wouldn't be able to do it without people like you. Okay, so today our entrepreneurs will present 4 of their 26 most promising ideas. 2 ideas are specific to businesses that they work with, and additional 2 edge ideas that focus on community development topics. In order to get us started to the main event tonight, I'm going to introduce you to their coach and mentor for this program, Ken Merkel. So Ken is an Open EXO ambassador, consultant, coach, speaker, and the CEO of EXO Executes. He is an experienced senior leader and a serial entrepreneur that specializes in shifting cultures and implementing the properties of exponential organizations to drive social impact and transform organizations. He is active in the technology community across all industries as he drives to shift society and organizations towards an abundant future. And if you haven't figured it out yet, Ken has also led all of our participants through the Youth Innovation Masterclass over the last 9 weeks, where the students have become very fond of him. Or at least that's what Ken writes in his bio. EXO Executes is a business consulting firm that works with clients to rethink their business models to spark innovation and transformation within their organization. We now live in a very interconnected world fueled by globalization, digitization, mobilization, and automation. These new concepts are drastically changing the way we work and the skills we need. Anything that can't be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. The most notable being human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotions, and ethics. The future will be dominated by holistic business models that are liquid and flexible to accommodate our consistently changing world. The future is to embrace technology, but not become it. And all jokes aside, we've really looked forward, or we really have enjoyed working with Ken throughout this process, and I know the entrepreneurs have too. So without further ado, Ken, please take it away, and thank you for all your hard work on this program along with the entrepreneurs.
Thanks, Jen Lee. Appreciate it. I want to thank you and Jordan and Carly for supporting me eagerly in this class, and for Flagstaff County, Wainwright, and the Central Alberta Regional Innovation Network. Before the team takes over, they're going to be running most of the show today. I just want to let you know how impressed I am with them. You know, at the beginning, I think a lot of them had, or all of them really had, a bit of trepidation about coming into the course, but they quickly overcame that, and it really became clear to me right away that this cohort was going to be very different than any other I've been involved with. I think it's the female archetype that really came through, and all of their ideas had tremendous social implications. And I think that's why this one was so special. And I've spent a lot of hours with this team over the last 9 weeks, and really they've learned the fundamentals of exponential transformation, apply that model to a local business, and they come up with some of the best social impact ideas that I've seen. During the ideation phase, they had 26, like as Jen Lee said, 26 different ideas. And through a lot of effort and collaboration, they came together as a strong team. They validated and merged and adapted those down to the 4 ideas that they're going to share with you tonight. So their presentations will be about 20 minutes. And while they present, we ask if everybody can turn off their camera so that you can see them at the top of the screen. And then after that, we're going to follow that up with some feedback from some of our disruptors. We have a couple of disruptors from our community that have come. And then we'll open up the floor to feedback from anybody that's here. So if we can have you turn off your cameras so that you can see the team present. And then we'll have Trish go ahead and share your screen. Ready to go?
In a world of technology, a group of 5 rural Alberta women, all of all ages, came together. Different towns, but one passion: innovation. After 9 weeks of learning, sharing, brainstorming, and bonding, a team was built. Let me proudly introduce the FGs, the Fried Grapes. Carly Grove, Regan Dempsey, Trish Granger from Flagstaff County, Mitch Cummins of Camrose, Logan Cummins of Wainwright. Henry Ford once said, "Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success." To ensure that we are all on the same page, we want to share a lingo with you that we will be using. The heart and soul of our presentation is going to consist of 4 concepts, 2 that are core and 2 that are edge. We've included graphics to help show you what we mean by core and edge. Core means that the ideas are specific to one particular business. To contrast, edge ideas are more outside the box of ideas that can be applied to any problems in society or globally. For each of our concepts, you'll hear us talk about their MTP, or their massive transformative purpose. The best way to explain an MTP is by thinking of it as a big, all-encompassing goal or vision that you continually strive towards. It provides you with a direction to follow, and it provides you with a future vision to strive for. An MTP is different from a goal or a vision in the sense that it's never completely fulfilled. For example, Google's MTP is to organize the world's information. It provides them with a sense of direction, and it provides them with a future vision to strive for. But it will be next to impossible to completely fulfill. With that, let's get started with our first core initiative. Logan and Regan will be presenting two separate concepts that both stem from the MTP, Every Home is a Personal Utopia. Here is Regan.
Since CORE looks at a specific business, we will be focusing on McCrae's Flooring in Wainwright, Alberta. McCrae's has been a family-owned business for 27 years.
Meet Bill.
Meet Bill.
He lives in a rural
community with his family.
Bill enjoys working
with his hands, building and renovating. Bill is a journeyman carpenter who loves sharing his skills. Karen and her husband Bob have just bought their first home in a neighboring town about 30 kilometers away. There is lots of projects they would like to get done. Karen's husband Bob works away and isn't able to help Karen as much with the projects for the house. Karen would like to learn how to change out her cabinet doors, change out her bathroom faucet, refinish a table, and make a clock for her kitchen wall. Where will she learn these skills, and who would teach her? Today, Bill needed flooring for a house he was working on, so he headed down to McCrae's. As he was talking to the salesperson about flooring, he overheard a conversation of a lady looking for some guidance for home improvements. Bill mentioned to the salesperson what he had heard. The salesperson said they've had quite a few people come in with similar questions. As they talked, they both thought the same thing. What if local people helping each other? What if a local carpenter comes to McCrae's to offer a course on basic home improvement skills? Or John offered a course from John's Plumbing across the street. What if? Is there a market for having local trades or local people come teach a skill at a workshop? After interviewing local customers, the answer was yes. 66.6% have gone to a workshop to learn a skill. 76% have gone with a friend or family member, and 88% would travel up to 30 minutes away to attend a workshop. Karen was on Facebook the other day and she came across an advertisement for McCrae's. It was a home improvement class offered that Saturday, and it was about how to refinish cabinet doors. There was a small fee, but the class was exactly what she was looking for. Karen read the post and it stated all of the details, and she also saw that the teacher was a local business owner. She was pretty excited and shared the post. Not only did she sign up, but 3 more of her friends. What if there was an app that Bill could advertise the skills he was willing to teach? What if McCrae's could use the same app and see the skills people had to offer? What if you could use the app to book a course at your chosen location while advertising it, and it collects the registration fee? What if the person sharing their skill along with the business owner were able to make a small profit while the customer gained knowledge in return? What if there was an app for that? Some of Karen's friends had only heard of McCrae's Flooring, but until they arrived at the course, they had no idea that the flooring store sold so many other unique items. Bill helped his community, advertised his business, and helped another local business as well. A community that learns together, stays together. More women than men are willing to attend workshops. Workshop suggestions by interviewees were to learn carpentry, small quick projects, paint nights, and wood crafts. Learning new do-it-yourself skills. The course was a huge success. What if there were more do-it-yourself courses? Our data shows that 76% of people are willing and wanting to share their skill. Teach it, learn it, create it. What if there were other blue jobs that pink jobs could learn? What if there were no pink or blue, there was only purple? And here is Logan with our second core initiative, Gotta Have It.
Thank you, Egan. This story involves two lovely ladies. Jane is a university student with limited funds and no space for bulky appliances. Sally is a middle-aged woman with a house full of appliances that she doesn't have use for all the time. She's looking for ways to make a little extra money to help pay for some new home renos. This is where the Gotta Have It app comes in. Let me tell you a story and give you a taste of how the app would work. Meet Jane. She lives in a small dorm room and misses her mother's home-cooked chili. She wants to make it but can't afford a brand new crock pot to prepare it in. After talking to some of her fellow schoolmates, she learns about the Gotta Have It app. While playing around with the app, she finds so many wonderful things to rent. Not only is there gently used furniture, home decor, and electronics, but to her surprise, there are appliances. She's over the moon. She clicked on the search bar and looked for a crock pot. To her surprise, there's one only 5 kilometers away. Using an app for an interface is a great way to reach both potential renters and rentees because it's easy to find and easy to use. Plus, 95% of people have a phone or tablet or have access to one. Our data shows 68% of people would rent out household goods and over 70% would either donate or have their household goods rented out while receiving a small sum of money for their items. The app would have a set fee per item that includes insurance in case something were to happen while being rented out. With an anything goes mentality. Oops. Oh no. Okay. Jane gets home and makes her mother's chili. She knows that she has to return it the next day, so she returns it. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I am completely lost with it. Oh, it's not. Okay. She hopped in her car and drove to her house to pick up the newly rented crockpot. Jane meets Sally, who is overjoyed that her crockpot is getting used when she otherwise wouldn't be using it. She has no worries about her beloved crockpot because she knows she is well protected through the Gotta Have It app. With an anything goes mentality, to inspire every home as a personal utopia, the app could accommodate an endless and fluid selection of personal home decor items for both types of users. Jane gets home and makes her mother's chili. She knows that she has to return it the next day, so she cleans it and gets it ready to be dropped off. After waiting, she decided to browse the app and was able to find a new couch and TV she can rent for the duration of her schooling. Boy, is she glad she found this app. The user will be able to pick the duration they rent the item for. They will pay by the day, week, month, or even year with a set price for insurance depending on the cost of the item. Though insurance for a TV will be more than a crockpot because a TV is a higher ticket item. What about the money? Since we are leveraging assets, we have decided that in order to make the most out of everyone's time, it would be beneficial to let the people who will be renting out their items have a say on what they want to make. We, in turn, would make a certain percentage of the price in order to cover insurance and turn a profit. To put into perspective what the possible revenue could be, I will be using a similar business model, which is Uber. In 2019 alone, Uber made 65 billion US dollars. This business model of using leveraged assets is highly profitable and a great way to stimulate not only the local economy, but also the world economy if it really takes off.
Thank you, Regan and Logan, for taking us through your core ideas. Mitch and Carly are going to shift gears by going into our edge ideas, or the out-of-the-box border thinking ideas. Carly?
Thanks, Trish. To start off, I want you all to think about how often you've been asked by a cashier if you'd like to round up your purchase to the nearest dollar, often for a cause. I would guarantee that all of you have been asked, but did you know that, at least according to our interviews, only 37.5% of you always or almost always say yes to donating your spare change. There's another portion of people whose willingness to say yes often depends on the cause. That's about 50% of you. This part is interesting and made us want to investigate a little bit further. What is it that makes 50% of people hesitant to donate their spare change. From our interview responses, we were able to boil it down to two broad concepts, and those are trust and impact. In order for 50% of you to say yes to donating your spare change, you want to feel as though you can trust the organization with your money and that your money will create an impact like it's intended. Fascinatingly enough, your likelihood of saying yes ultimately comes down to connection. What's the connection that the person with the wallet feels to the organization and their impact? Are they trustworthy, and do their interests even align? In order to incorporate these three key understandings into our initiative, we recommend bringing our concept of spare change into our own local communities, such as Flagstaff County and the town of Wainwright. So that's why the MTP for our spare change initiative is building small values into big impacts for your neighbor. This is how we can prove that a little goes a long way. And even better, when your donation goes to your neighbor, it hits all three of the keywords we just finished looking at: trust, impact, and connection. So to help me illustrate this concept of spare change a little bit more, my friend Taylor here is going to walk you through some math. Let's say that Taylor rounds up their purchase by 1 cent, just 1 cent each day. At the end of the year, Taylor will have donated $3.65. That might not seem like a lot, but just wait, it's about to get fun, I promise. And that's not just because I like math. For this math, I took the approximate working population of each community, so those around 20 to 60 in that range. And give or take, that age range is about 50% of the total respective population shown. So what does it look like when 50% of the population donates 1 cent a day, just like Taylor? For Flagstaff County, that means $6,600 donated back to the community, and for Wainwright, that's $12,600. Now, I told you it would get fun. What if all those people rounded up their daily purchases by 10 cents? That's $66,000 to Flagstaff and $126,000 to Wainwright. And that, my friends, is just by each person donating $36.50 of their spare change each year. So imagine, just for a second, what this could look like if 75% of the population donated. What if people donated $1 each time? What if all communities everywhere utilize the spare change model? Just imagine the impact that we would have. So now what? What do we do with all this donated spare change? Our answer is to let the people decide. 58% of people donate more frequently if they feel they have control over their money. The other 42% feel as though they already have control. We allow people to have the sense of control over their money by connecting spare change to an app, just like you see here. In this app, the donors would have the ability to choose where their spare change goes within the community. Maybe the donor can even change where their money goes each month. Having options of where their money goes helps people become more engaged within their own community. It could be up to each general community, like Flagstaff or Wainwright, to decide what their own guidelines would be like for who qualifies to be on the receiving end of this initiative. Each community is unique, and every community evolves over time, so it makes sense that the app adapts to each community's needs. We see so much potential in this initiative because it deeply shows the impact of how little can go a long way for your neighbor, and that concludes Spare Change. Mitch is going to take us through the next EDGE initiative.
Thanks, Carly. Our fourth and final concept is one that addresses a more global issue related to division and fear of the unknown. To provide some context, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the time I spent in Kugluktuk, Nunavut. I moved to Kugluktuk not knowing anything about the culture. I was just there to work in the Hamlet warehouse. I quickly realized that there was a mistrust between the Inuk and the Kablanak, the white man. Some women are very possessive of their men and had to come and meet me before the men could come to the warehouse if they needed anything. It wasn't until I joined the local sewing class and spent some time with the elders and community women that I felt welcomed and accepted. And that was the moment when we started connecting as people. Hand in hand with the unknown comes fear. We fear the unknown. This is all a part of our evolution. The unknown can be scary. A consequence of our fear is that we make judgments about our fellow human beings. This isn't just a problem in Canada between the Inuk and the Kablanak. It's a problem all over the world, and it's causing division between many groups.
This problem is exacerbated by today's social media algorithms that tend to connect only like-minded people. Our research uncovered that 70% of people we interviewed willingly talk to strangers. Of those, 92% like to listen and learn about other people's lives. In fact, people are more willing to hear other people's stories than to share their own, and the main reason they travel is to experience other cultures. What if there was a social media platform that connected differences instead of just similar interests? I could have conversed with an Inuk prior to moving and had a better understanding of their culture before I went there, building trust as we learned about each other and our common interests. By using algorithms that connect diverse perspectives in an engaging way that has us learning about each other, we can break down some of the fear and barriers to trust, creating empathy, connection, acceptance, and gratitude. An app that is made to connect people with very different viewpoints and lives would also have given me the opportunity to learn about many other people and cultures. I could have met these ladies who I became friends with and stayed connected to. I could have become a part of the community before I went there. Almost everyone has a cell phone and engages in social media today, so why not use it for good? The Day in the Life app would help me to learn about my similarities and differences to other people and cultures through a randori process. We would ask and answer questions about each other and our everyday life. Questions like, what are your hobbies? What's your favorite food? If you had a superpower, what would it be? What's something that you wished you would get asked more? Do you have a song that changed your life? What's your favorite month and why? And what kind of eggs do you like? Through this process, we acknowledge that we're all human and we're really not that different. I learned we had common interests, whether it was fishing, cooking char or making bibi, which is dried char, and baking bannock or bread. I learned so much about living on the land and really connecting with each other while berry picking, exploring the tundra on the Honda, or boating to the islands. As Alina and I learned about each other and discussed our interests, I learned about her beadwork, and I went into the women's sewing group where I learned to hand sew mitts, an opportunity I wouldn't have taken otherwise. This took me into a totally different market that I otherwise would have never been a part of. Just like all of the existing social medias, there's an opportunity to be able to advertise to entirely new demographics and an opportunity for advertisers to learn about new markets. Did you know there are more than 4.6 billion unique mobile users in the world? And the social media advertising market is expected to reach $132 billion by 2024. Even a small part of that pie is a lot. A day in the life. Uncover assumptions, discover the unknown, and discard the fear, turning division and diversity into conversation. Let's start the conversation because it's contagious, and it's conversations like these that'll break down the barriers and get us out of our comfort zone.
Thanks, Mitch. To bring this to a close, our 2 core initiatives, Purple and Gotta Have It, our 2 edge initiatives, Spare Change and the Day in the Life. Regan, Logan, Carly, Mitch, and Trish would like to thank and acknowledge the sponsors who made this course possible: East Central Regional Innovation Network, Flagstaff County, the Town of Wainwright, and the EXO Execute. We would also like to thank Ken Merkel, not just for being an amazing coach, but for all the extra time that he gave to us for this course. Thank you to the panel for your time, your comments, and your feedback. And last but not least, thank you to our communities, our family, and our friends for your support and your love. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Henry Ford. Thank you.
Thanks, team. That was awesome. You did a great job there. So if we can have everybody then turn your cameras back on again, and we can all see each other. And then we'll start giving a little bit of feedback. Actually, I think I'm going to start with Shelley McRace with the 2 core ideas. So Shelley's the owner of McRace Flooring. So those ideas were developed on behalf of McRae's. It's the business that was chosen to go through the course with us. So Shelley, I don't see you here. I know you're online. You want to jump in and provide us a little bit your thoughts on the two core ideas. See if I can get her to unmute here. There we are. Hi, Shelley. Yeah,
Hi.
we can see you.
Okay, so actually I really enjoyed this presentation from all four girls. Us being more of a flooring, so we provide product and a service. I won't be able to use a lot of it with that part because we rely on our sales and our service part. So we don't want to teach anybody our tricks. So we don't want to give those classes out because otherwise they're our competition. However, there's a few things that the girls said that I just actually really got my brain spinning. Teaching something though, we can. We have our paint department. We can always do paint classes, different things like that. That really got me going on the paint side. I really like that. Mitch had said something about the similarities. You know, the more you find your common ground with people and connect with your customers, that I really took hold of. I've written everything down because I'm going forward with a lot of this stuff. And even the spare change, I thought, what? How am I gonna make that work for me, right? I thought, well, it's easy because if people are giving their spare change, I'm just the platform to give back to my community. So It wasn't that hard at all. So those girls did a marvelous job, all of them.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, and it's really hard because, like I said, my business isn't the perfect business for what you guys are doing because of like kind of what we do. But it's funny how I took something from every one of them. It's really good.
Well, it's great to hear you like the spare change because I think they'll be coming and talking to you soon about how do we implement that.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say but I did listen and I thought there's nothing like being inspired to even move forward. And all four of those girls inspired me in one way or another. So that's good.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So next we want to ask Jabeen. So Jabeen Quader has many years of multi-sector industry experience. She's joining us from Toronto. She's passionate about environmental and social sustainability of businesses, products, cities, and buildings. Now, her current focus is empowering female founders and leaders seeking exponential impact with innovative business models for a regenerative food system. Jabeen?
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks for joining us, Jabeen.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This is really exciting. I'm so excited to see all the women here. It's amazing. I really enjoyed all four of the presentations. Each one of them is new and innovative and really interesting. I had a question about, first of all, let me say that I was really impressed by the customer validation and hypothesis validation numbers seem very high, which is really cool. The MTP, every home is a personal utopia for, I guess that was for the first initiative. I can't remember the name, Fried Grapes. I didn't catch the MTP for the other three. Maybe I missed it, and it wasn't clear to me what the MTPs were.
First two were core, so that your home's personal utopia was the core ones. Okay. Ladies, do you have the MTPs for the other two?
I may have missed it. I'm not sure. I just think that
the spare change one was building small values into big impacts for your neighbor.
Okay. Yeah, and I also was looking for a little bit more information on how you've applied the EXO attributes. I heard you mention algorithms and the leveraged assets, which is amazing. I think that there's a lot of opportunity and low-hanging fruit in creating community and crowd around some of these initiatives, especially the edge ones. So I'd recommend that you look into that because that's a way you can gain traction and build a loyal following, and then maybe even get into gamifying the experience. So I'd recommend that. Other than that, I don't have a lot to say. Obviously, it may be too soon to really get into the business model. I have questions about how you would generate money, or even if that's even an objective here. But down the road, I guess that's an area that you would need to focus on. So yeah, congratulations. It was really good.
Thanks, Jabeen. Yeah, we'll have to bring you back as they develop the idea a little further. And once they get further into that business model side. So thank you. And so next, let's hear from Marianne Wynn. So Marianne's from Vancouver. She's part of our OpenExo community. She spent most of her career running transformational change projects in the food industry, aerospace, automotive, Navy and military, and high-tech industries. And she recently accepted a position as COO for Planetary Care. Marianne.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see you all, and very inspiring to hear all these wonderful ideas and all the work you guys have put into it. I can see you guys have worked hard. Funny enough, my questions are very similar to Jabeen's. I'm very curious about the spare change and how you guys are going to engage the community and crowd. So I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that.
I can elaborate on that.
Go ahead.
So we don't necessarily have a specific objective yet. Our thoughts have kind of been bouncing around on the whole thing. One that we all kind of gravitated towards was maybe having the choice within the app of who you can give your spare change to, and then maybe even change based on the month. So say it's Christmas, maybe you want to give all your money to the food bank. Maybe it's August, now you want to give it all to schools or specific initiatives that are happening. So that could be a way to engage community and crowd, because that could keep the engagement going on a high turnover frequent basis. And then we could gamify it by having like competitions maybe, or not necessarily competitions, bad word, but some sort of incentive on the business's end to become maybe a featured spare change recipient, or there's lots of different ways to go within the app that we're playing with. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to add on to that.
Well, all I can say is I know that they spent hours on this one, and there's a million things that they're discussing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
What about the flooring company? Same kind of idea. How would you engage the community and crowd on that one?
Logan, or
Like engage it through the flooring, or?
Well, the offerings you guys are going to come up with, like how are you going to engage the community and crowd on that?
Well, I haven't quite talked to my boss about it yet, but I have a few ideas for it for sure.
Okay, that's great.
So like maybe like some sort of like percentage off program. Say it's like every time someone like rounds up their change or gives an additional $1 or something, they could get like a stamp for like 10% off, or I don't know. I got a lot of ideas in my brain, but I haven't quite narrowed it down to one.
Perfect. I was going to ask about a day in the life. I know you haven't quite gone to that yet, but how are you thinking you're going to make money? How are you going to generate revenue on that?
I think it has, I think mostly through advertising and figuring out different markets for, I know like, for example, right now, Iqaluit auction bids, you know, they make their wares or their products and then they just auction them off kind of on their own site. So bringing different markets and different wares, you can't necessarily find that a lot here, a little bit more down east, but bringing unique ideas to the marketplace, I think, you know, generates that conversation and interest. Mm-hmm. And, you know, creates an awareness around it, and people don't know what they don't know. So, you know, maybe once they know about whatever they offer, like the beadwork, for example, or the you know, ornaments or anything that they offer, then that's a great opportunity for an advertiser's market.
No, that's perfect. And for the app with the rentals of stuff you have at home, basically, I was also going to ask how you were going to make money on that. Like, what was your revenue model going to be? Again, maybe that'd be a bit early, but curious about that.
So I think right now we're playing with the idea that the customer, I guess the renter of said item, say if I'm renting out a couch, I would get to pick the set fee. Say if I only want to rent it out for a month, I would pick the monthly fee, and then the app as a whole would take a certain percentage, enough that would cover insurance for the item if it ever got damaged or anything, so we could help pay back the customer, or we can, and then we'll also take the certain percentage for income. It probably wouldn't be too terribly much money at the beginning, but hopefully as the years go on and it starts picking up traction, then.
No, that's great. And I love the idea of using the leveraged assets, because they're sitting around not being used, so it makes total sense that if I need a jackhammer, my neighbor might actually have one.
Yeah, it's like a fondue pot or something.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
Yeah. When I heard that idea from them, I went and looked at my kitchen, and there's 5 things sitting on my counter that we use maybe once a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, makes total sense. And also it brings in community, right? When you start getting to know your neighbors and all that. So that's a really good twist as well. I like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, those are my questions.
Thanks, Marianne.
Can I jump in and just quickly mention, Ken, that when Shelley was speaking about, McRae flooring, and, she was expressing some reservation about the First Core initiative, I would really take that to heart and explore that and see how you can make it truly a core initiative that works for the company. Otherwise, you'll have what we call the immune response, and, the company will work at cross purposes to your initiative. So, take that to heart.
Yeah, and I know we had some discussions in the class, and I'm sure Logan's having these discussions as well with Shelley about how things outside of their industry, like a plumber, for instance, teaching somebody how to do plumbing would bring more people into the store. So it doesn't compete with her. But it's, if they have the space to run some of these programs, it's advantageous, even though it's bringing people in the store for different purposes. So I know Logan's all over Shelley on that stuff. Thanks, Jabeen. So last one before we open it up to the floor is Darcy.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So I've been a little bit along the way with the ladies coming in occasionally as a coach during some of the weeks, and so I've seen the progression, and the progression is just absolutely stunning. So feel very, very, very proud of what you've done. I'm probably not going to provide a lot of feedback because I think I've given my feedback in the past. However, I do want to say to you, Logan, I'm so proud of you. It's a very, very lonely spot when that happened. It's even more exponential when you're on a conference call like this and there's just no help and it feels like you're drowning, and you slogged through that and you got yourself righted and you kept going. And so I just want to say super kudos for fighting through that. It's so hard, and I was happy to see you recover. So and really beyond that, your stories were all amazing. You've captured my heart on a few of them, and I'm really excited to see if something where this potentially could go. So thank you so much for energizing me. I'm going to be telling everyone in the office tomorrow. I'm so excited. So
awesome. Thanks, Darcy. Do we have thoughts from the rest of the audience? We have over 40 people online. Anybody want to jump in, or if you have questions or thoughts, you can throw them in the chat as well. Kara said, "Great job, ladies," and I agree. Your dedication to the social enterprise, I think, is one of the things that really stood out for me during this whole course, and it was just spectacular.
I just would love to add to that. Social enterprise it's a tough road. guys, right? There's never enough money. There's never enough work. And it's certainly when we talk about how to create revenue, not just for your project, but for yourselves, because at the end of the day, ultimately we don't want to work for free. And so I'm really excited to see you go from here and what your ideas are on how to continue down that social enterprise route and really take it to the next level. I also want to say that I agree with Jabeen and McCrae's. I think there's an opportunity to be the leaders in a little bit of a different way, and maybe diversifying a little bit in your community. I think that giving people the tools to do things themselves will only bring them to your door more. Ultimately, you're the experts and you're the ones they're going to go to for the big jobs. But they can do little things on their own, then they're going to come back to you and for that service and that support down the road. And I think it's an opportunity to diversify and kind of do your own little bit of social enterprise on the side. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys were awesome. Yeah, great job. Good job. Good job,
awesome.
Ken, Darcy, for being such fantastic mentors for the
Great.
I'll stop talking now.
That's good. I think, Jackie, you wanted to jump in?
I do. Can you hear me?
We can.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to these young entrepreneurs. I am very confident that we older stock are in good hands because these young leaders are going to pave the way for our future. And Alberta, rural Alberta, is going to lead the way. So thank you so much. I'm very excited about what's going to happen next. Good luck.
Thanks, Jackie.
Yeah. Can I just jump in here for a minute?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yep. I didn't sign up for a speaking role tonight. I just wanted to see what the girls had to offer. And I was overwhelmed, quite frankly. Of course, spare change had to be my favorite from the chair I sit in because brings back the money to the community, of course. But a day in the life hit home with me too. I've been in that situation before. I also needed a crock pot once in a while. And sometimes you just got to have it. So they all hit home in some way, as I'm sure they did with other people. I'd encourage the young ladies, no matter what community you live in, to, if you need help getting this off the ground, take advantage of your old people in your community like myself, or the economic development people like Carly Herbert. They can connect you with the right connectors and help you along the way. So just an awesome job to all the girls, and I'm glad I tuned in.
Well, stick around to the end, Brian, because we've got a surprise for you.
Yeah,
Damien?
If I could, fantastic work, ladies. It's so exciting to see this sort of creative thinking and really using the challenges that we face in especially rural and remote areas, and using that as a launching pad for innovation. So kudos to you on the ideas. I think you have some great ideas there, and very, very cool to see even in your presentations how you've started addressing some of the challenges that you faced working through the ideas, and that's exactly what's required for success. So well done, and look forward to seeing how that translates into success both in East Central Alberta, but also how it can take a small idea like what you presented here that can transform really the world. You think about a lot of the startups that have changed the way that we communicate and whatnot. It started as a small idea, and look at where some of those corporations, enterprises are today. And I love how you focused on local impact as well, because I think that's something that we desperately need in the midst of the challenges we face as a region. But yeah, kudos to you all. Thanks for your good work, and excited to see where these ideas take you. Well done.
Thanks, Damien. Genevieve, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll just jump in for a second. First of all, I think that you guys probably already recognize the big names on the screen, but I just want to point out that Jackie and Damien, both who spoke, are pretty special guests from the province and the provincial and federal government. So Jackie Lovely is our MLA representing the Camrose constituency, and Mr. Damien Kirk, of course, is our Member of Parliament representing the Battle River Crowfoot constituency. So thank you guys so much for coming. We really appreciate your representation and your support of our youth in our community. And beyond that, I think I speak for our entire economic development team when I just say, wow, I think this is a great lesson for our whole economic development function in engaging youth into ideas that can really positively impact and affect our communities. I think both of your EDGE ideas, Spare Change and A Day in the Life, is something that Spare Change we could use to affect our community foundations, our charities, or even potentially morph the idea into a bit of an investment portfolio to help other entrepreneurs in our community. And A Day in the Life, I think, is a really interesting angle that you could use in terms of citizen attraction or even investment attraction and promoting the kind of culture and positivity that we really have and attracting the right kind of people to our communities, whether that's simply just citizens who now we know in today's world can work from anywhere, or entrepreneurs who are looking to invest in the right community that's impactful and supports entrepreneurs and youth. So thank you guys so much for your ideas. And I'm honestly, I know I've said it to you guys before, but I am blown away by the quality of the ideas and what this youth entrepreneur group really brought to the table. I feel so lucky to have gotten to meet all of you and feel even luckier to have our department be able to help some of these ideas and grow your youth development. So thank you guys for allowing us to be part of that.
Excellent. And there's some, I hope your ladies are reading the chats, because I think one of the things that I really liked about the gotta have it idea was that environmental footprint. And that's kind of what when I mentioned that almost every idea that they had 26 really good ideas that they ended up merging and combining together and validating and testing. But they all had some kind of social impact to them, whether it was some environmental impact or like Spare Change, giving back to the community, which I thought was extraordinary. I don't think that we've ever seen that. We've always seen a lot of very business focused, and then they were able to take those social impact ideas and determine ways to turn that into a viable business, which I thought was extraordinary.
Can I add something quickly on the social impact piece of it that you brought in? I remembered I meant to say that when you're creating an initiative with social impact, I'd recommend that you really look at dashboards. Like you have the apps. If you have the dashboards where your people can see the impact, the results that you're having, you're more likely to attract investment, advertising revenues, etc. So that's something that's, again, I think it's low-hanging fruit for your EDGE initiatives.
Absolutely. So does anybody else want to jump in before we?
Can we talk about the girl power on this team, Ken? Yay, girls, yes. And social impact. Let's go.
Yes, absolutely. and it looks like Lynn wants to talk. Lynn? I have to unmute there.
I just wanted to say, because I do work and volunteer for a large charity and social organization in Flagstaff, we are currently doing a rather large fundraising initiative. Everyone else is doing a 50-50, and we couldn't get one. And I really like that idea of rounding it up, and where you brought it straight down to 1 cent could make a difference to a local charity. I really, really like that idea, and I have to thank you for that.
Great. So I think, girls, you hear some great people that you're going to need to connect with, because we did get some funding to really drive those 2 EDGE initiatives forward. So they're really compelling. And we got a little bit of ongoing support to move those into the, the second part of our innovation masterclass. And so what we're going to start looking at is that business model, developing prototypes and we'll be testing them within the participating communities. So watch for early versions of that, and we'll be looking for businesses within the communities to be early adopters of the program. And soon your spare change can make a difference in your community, as well as other communities you can connect with in a day in the life. So that's really exciting news that the team will be able to continue those initiatives. And of course, they'll be open to other investment for anybody that's interested, since Brian, you mentioned that. So before we close off for the night, anybody else that would like to jump in? Kudos to the team. You guys did a wonderful job, and I'm really looking forward to the next phase. Glenda, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody. I've just participated in these ladies' journey over the last 9 weeks, and just watching everybody grow and watching you come out of your comfort zones, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for letting me be part of it. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenda. Does the team want to say anything to finish off the night?
Just a big thank you is all I need to say. I'm just grinning ear to ear over here on this side of the camera.
Yeah, it was great. You guys did a great job. We had 40 people online watching you, and I know that that you guys had to overcome a little bit of fear for that, but you did awesome. Great job. And we hope to invite you guys again. Thanks to everybody for coming to participate with us. And we'll be sure to invite you again as we finish up the second half of this course.
And I just really want to thank Ken, Darcy, Brad, and Glenda. They really listened to our thoughts, and they guided us, and they were just really great mentors. And I really want to thank our team. We've really bonded, like we said in the beginning. We've really bonded in those 9 weeks. We're all different ages, and we come from different areas of rural Alberta, and we have made, I would say, long-lasting friendships. So I just want to thank everybody, and thank Jordan Pryor for working so hard, and Jenna Lee. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I could too, Ken, on the same note, just thank you for supporting, the thoughts and the work and the encouragement when it seemed like too much. I love the word disruptor. I think it was a great way to encourage us to carry on with, a thought path, whatever that is. And what a different way to learn by mistake. So I just love that. And I have to say thank you to everyone for your feedback. It's so encouraging. That's everything.
Thanks, Mitch.
I also wanted to say basically the same thing. Thank you so much for everyone and all the feedback and for being okay with my little oopsie. Thank you a lot for that. And I'm surprised no one asked about what the fried grapes stand for. That's it.
Well, you got it. You said it now. Now somebody's going to
tell us.
I think
I want to know.
Story.
My story? What if I don't want to explain my story? I can explain her story.
Carly will
Carly
explain.
can explain it. So, at the very beginning, kind of part of what sparked a lot of these innovative thinking ideas was at the very beginning, we had asked everyone questions, kind of get to know you questions. And one of them, I can't remember exactly what the question was, but Regan was telling us about how her family had started this HelloFresh type of service that they subscribe to. And she's like, it was so cool. Fried grapes came in, and she's going off on this little hyper enthusiastic explanation about fried grapes. And we go, oh, okay, that's a lot of enthusiasm for fried grapes. And she just got embarrassed about it, and we thought it was adorable and wanted to be called fried grapes. They weren't very good. Please don't try them. There excited for nothing. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who came tonight to watch us, and thank you to everyone and the team who's helped us along the way to get to this point. And yeah.
Thanks, Regan. I guess before we sign.
Can I add on one more point?
Absolutely, Carly.
Okay. I wanted to also just to give some background information onto what the last 9 weeks have looked like. It hasn't just been all work. A lot of these ideas stemmed from what should have been really a 45-minute Zoom call turned into 3 hours. And that happened on like a weekly, bi-weekly basis, just because we were so engulfed in the types of and the qualities of conversations. We just kept going on tangents, and that's where all those 26 ideas stem from. There was more, but we didn't have the video recorded, so we kind of had to recall some of our favorite ideas that we'd come up with, but it was so awesome. My goal with this was to meet people that like to brainstorm like I do, and I definitely found that.
Great. That's awesome. I know the 1 hour classes that we had planned twice a week took 6 or 7 hours every week, but it was worth every minute. You guys were an awesome class to work with, and it was great fun. You made it fun. If no one else wants to jump in, we'll shut her down for tonight. I guess I should make a plug for the Innovation Masterclass though before we drop off. And if you're interested in offering the Innovation Masterclass in your community, then you can get a hold of me and connect to me on LinkedIn, Ken Merkel, and we can talk about how you can bring the Masterclass to your community as well. So thanks, everybody. And we'll connect with the team. I think we've got a drink night coming up, so we can all relax and enjoy some time together. All right.
Awesome.
See you. Thanks, Jabeen.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
See you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.